Hi everyone, I'm Tam, and today we have another edition of Spurious Dishes. I'm going to try to make some beef liver stew today. I have about half a pound of beef liver right there, 2 tablespoons of salted butter. These are the veggies for the stew, 2 carrots, 2 russet potatoes, and I think this is a jalapeno pepper, if I'm not mistaken. The jalapeno pepper is to add a bit of a kick and more texture to the stew. I'm going to try to mince that up. And over here we have half of an onion. So I slice half the onion right there, which will be caramelized with the bits of liver when I do that part. And then I have about half a bulb of garlic. So I took the full bulb, cut into half. I broke it into half, and we have about I think 8 or so cloves of garlic. So these smaller sections. There's a lot of garlic. However, I do like garlic, so that's why I have so many. You may want only 1/4 of the bulb. Up to you. And then this is bay leaves to add aromatics to the stew, so smell and flavor, a bit of flavoring to the texture. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is actually I'll get to work on the veggies, because I only have one cutting board, and I think if you cut the meat, you have to clean the board and basically to wash away the bacteria, and then you can actually do the veggies. Otherwise, it can infect the veggies, something like that. I'm not too sure on that, but that's what I kind of recall. So we're starting with the veggies first. I'm gonna cut these up. These will be the potatoes will be about 1-inch cubes, nice and big. The carrots are gonna be like I think 1/2 inch slices, so decently thick. And then the jalapeno pepper is gonna be minced up into like very small cubes, because it's really for the flavoring, not really to actually bite into like potato. So that's the plan. And then once I do that, I'll start on these other two. So let me do that first. Okay, and now we're back. So there are the carrots, decently thick size. So it was nice to kind of gnaw on. Potatoes are also decently thick size. I kept the skin on because the skin is nutritious, I believe. So it's nice to have on. But anyway, up to you, I guess, preference. The potatoes are peeled, just so you're aware. And then I have tried to mince the jalapeno pepper, very small size. So the texture when you chew on it is it's kind of like, I guess, should be similar, I guess, to eating grain or like rice. It's to flavor the stew and also give it a nice kind of like crunch texture. And I completely forgot to tell you, I also have beef broth, which we use to actually make the stew with. Yeah, sorry about that. So now we're going to start on these other two. So let's start on this first, and then I'll go back to the meat. So the carrots, and not the carrots, the onions. I'll try to mince them. Try to like get the same kind of thickness as the carrots. So it's nice to kind of also eat those as well. So they'll have similar kind of. They'll have like a 1/2 inch thickness, and about I guess 1 inch in length, some of that. So I'll try to dice these similar to the carrots, kind of like the dimensions. And then for the garlic, I'll try to mince these up as well. So they'll be like, kind of like similar to the jalapeno. So it's nice and minced. And the liver will be chopped into 1-inch cubes, so nice and kind of thick. So about, I guess, like something like something like probably that. But a bit thicker here as well. So nice and thick, chewy bit of liver. And then we can start on actually cooking the stew itself. So let me get back to you on that. And now we're back with the thick cut liver. There's nice and big cubes, see? Very nice and big, about 1 inch by 1 inch each. And then we have nicely minced garlic, minced enough for me anyway. And then we have decently thick onion slices, see? So I cut these into quarters, and then I slice along the side, about half an inch thick. That's what I did. And there we go. So that's the last preparation. And the butter is also now melted. I went ahead and melted butter. See, so the butter is like nice and melted. We're good to go. So let me just yeah, that shit isn't keep there because because the stove was off right now. So I don't need to worry about that. So let me just put these into the actual pan. I'll put the phone onto the side here so that I can use both my hands and not to just have to use one. So just put it right there. Excuse me for a moment. Put it over here so it's off the heat. It doesn't like splash when I do this. For the most part away. Here we are. Put everything there. The cut beef liver, the onion, boom, and then also the garlic as well. We want these to caramelize. That's why I'm doing this. So let's do that. These are going to caramelize pretty well. A nice gold color and kind of like a nice sear taste to it. So put in here. Turn it on to like medium high. Right there. So let me take the phone back. All right. So here we are. So these are gonna caramelize. So about medium high is where you want to be. Let me just get my spoon so I can like kind of stir fry them. So get the butter all over the different parts of the onions and the garlic and so forth. Stir it all around so it's all evenly textured. So I'll come back when these are when the onions are caramelized and the liver is also kind of has a nice kind of like searing texture to it. And now the onions are fairly caramelized, as you can see. There's a nice brown golden texture. Just move it around a little bit more. The garlic is good, also nice brown texture. Same for the beef liver as well. So I turn the stove off, so let me just put it back here. Alright, so now let's add the broth in, which would be the beef broth and then the potatoes by itself, and also the aromatics. The potatoes cook the longest, about half an hour total time. So potatoes first for about 15 minutes, plus the aromatics, which I'll throw in later, and then we'll come back to the carrots, which will be 15 minutes, and then I'll throw these in like the last 5 minutes or so, the jalapenos. So let me just see if I can do this one hand. Oops, come on. Sorry about that. Pull out this bone broth here. No, beef broth. Do that, nice and big. And then about that much, yeah. That's like half the container. Just turn it back on. You want this to kind of simmer. Let me just get my spoon. So it's not exactly boiling. It's kind of like it wants to boil, but not really. Is what simmering is kind of partaking in. So I definitely need more broth here. Let me just throw more broth in. Go over the top of the potatoes. Oh boy. Something like because the onions, the carrots need to go in as well. Might as well use all of it, I guess. Make about 4 servings or so. Boom, nice. We're going all into this stew here. This is the stew of a lifetime. And just put that there. All right, and then let me just reposition to kind of like evenly stir things around. So it has a nice, cooks nice and evenly with what we have so far. I'm trying to bring it to a simmer here, so. And then the aromatics as well. These will, as the stew cook, these will slowly leak out flavor and I guess smell, change the smell a little bit. So right now it smells like butter, onion plus the beef stock. Plus the beef stock. So this should add the leaves should add a more foresty flavor and also smell to it. So that's that. So I'll bring it to a boil. Let the potatoes cook about halfway through, and then I'll come back with the carrots, and eventually we'll come back with the diced jalapenos as well. Okay, so it's been about I think 15 minutes now. You can tell that the potato is kind of much more tender. If I like gently put some pressure, you see it kind of like breaks with that gentle pressure, kind of breaks a little bit. So it's about like I think halfway done or so. All right, so let's add in the carrots, and then I will wait another like 10 minutes before I add in the last ingredients, which is the jalapeno dices. I'm just put the camera right there. Hopefully it stays in one place, and then we'll go back to this. So just I should turn it down a little bit so it doesn't like splash my face. All right, carrots going next. Carrots I think takes about like 8 to 10 minutes, something like that, before you kind of cook. So I'm just put these in here. Those in there, yep. And there we are. Nice carrots. And then let me introduce them to the broth, so to speak. Kind of like not really mix things, kind of just like make sure it's submerged with the broth, so it cooks properly. Like that, and more. All right, so it's now touching most of the broth anyway. So I'll readjust anyway. So now we are like this, and then I'll come back 10 minutes or so from now to add the last ingredients, and then we'll wait like 5 or 10 minutes before we kind of finish up. Okay, so now most of the carrots are pretty tender. See, they're low pressure, pretty tender. So they're about 75% or so done. I'm gonna start here. Yeah, pretty tender. I'm gonna start adding the last ingredients, which we all know to be the sliced jalapenos. Actually, I'm not doing this because it's gonna fall all over the place. So let me put it to the side. Put my camera to the side like that. So I have 2 hands to do this with, otherwise it may backfire me pretty hard. Okay. Alright, and then we just pull the camera back to my hand. Put the camera back to my hand, rather. So these are the jalapeno pepper slices. They're supposed to add a nice kick and also add some texture to the overall kind of broth. So when you chew on it, you're not just chewing on carrots, beef liver, or potato. You also have an overall kind of like crunchiness to the broth. So I'll let these kind of cook for like another 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll come back to you guys. Okay, and I think it's done. The potato is nice and like tender. Yes, more tender. Definitely kind of, I guess, melts in your mouth, so to speak. That's what I'm trying to aim for. The jalapeno is also cooked. It's soft. However, it still has a nice crunch to it, so you definitely like have to like, I guess, chew a little bit. And the broth is it's not as thick as I want it to be. It's definitely like it's definitely between like a soup and a stew, you know. the broth is still kind of like very liquidy. See, it's not very thick. I want a thicker broth. I was hoping the starch from the potatoes would kind of like I guess thicken it even more. I mean, it's definitely thick from the potatoes, but definitely not as thick. See, it's not exactly a soup, not exactly a stew right now. It's kind of in between, in purgatory, so to speak. If you add like if you add like I guess flour or cornstarch, it definitely helps thicken this as well. So you have a nice thicker, I guess, mashed potato feel texture. I mean, it's still pretty good, you know, pretty good. So I'll remove the aromatics. In this case, just the bay leaves. You don't eat these. These are just to infuse flavor and I guess smell. And once you're done, you still don't away. You don't actually eat this. So I'll remove these, throw these bay leaves into the trash, and then I'll grab a bowl, and then I'll show you guys what the final product actually looks like and tastes like. All right, so this is the final product. Our beef liver stew here. You know, potato, carrots, beef liver, nice and thick chops, and a bit of jalapeno to add a kick to it. Two things in the beef broth. So you see, this is what it looks like. Let me just try the better angle. Yep, that's a better angle. Yeah, the lighting is kind of terrible right now. Anyway, oh, there you go. So there you go. Very nice indeed. So let me just smell it, see what it smells like. Yeah, you can definitely smell the spice from the jalapeno. The potato definitely adds a bit of like dull, like a dent smell to it. You can definitely smell the beef liver as well. The beef liver plus the potato has a nice kind of like worn out smell, like I guess some kind of leathery smell. All right, and the carrots as well. So let's see what these taste like. Take a nice bite of everything. So here this has beef liver. Let's see what it tastes like. The beef liver definitely hardened a lot. It's definitely a lot harder than I wanted it to be. This is probably better with like you know, beef cuts, like I guess from like a beef rib or something else, because liver generally cooks very quickly, and when it cooks and when it's done, it's like very hard, like a kind of like beef jerky kind of texture. This is still pretty like tender-ish compared to beef jerky, but noticeably more harder than you probably want to eat with, than you probably want to eat. See how the carrots and the carrots taste here. It's definitely not as, I guess, buttery as I want to taste. You know, it's definitely a bit rough on the edges. I was hoping for something that kind of just kind of melts in your mouth. If I cut these in like halfway through, like I guess a fourth of an inch or something like that, or I guess half an inch, it definitely cook a bit faster, and you have a more like a melt in your mouth taste compared to what is now. All right, and the potatoes. Potatoes definitely not melt in your mouth. Potatoes are pretty much on the verge of becoming mashed potatoes. So that's what it is. And then the broth here. So the objective with the jalapeno here is to flavor the broth to make it kind of spicy. And also when you grab in to get some of the broth, you also pull some of the you also grab some of the jalapenos, so it's not like just broth, so it gives you a nice, I guess, crunch texture as you drink the broth. Oh wow, it definitely adds a nice kick to the broth right there. The crunchiness of the jalapeno, it's not too crunchy, it's like soft crunch. Definitely gives you a in the game, so to speak, keeps you engaged in eating. Oh, the broth by itself is excellent. It's like it has the richness of the beef liver, the bit of the starchiness of the potatoes, a bit of the spiciness of the a lot of the spiciness of the jalapeno, and a bit of the sweetness, the tenderness from the carrots. So it's a nice overall blend. Okay, and that is our lovely beef liver stew. I guess yep, beef liver stew. You could probably serve like 4 people with this. I have like way more left, which I'll probably save. Anyway, have a good day, everyone.